you. Gonna generate our agenda for us really quickly before we dig in here today. We're gonna have our welcome shortly after I finish. We're gonna have some introductions and connection with our lovely Chandra Green. We're gonna have some program overview and expectations between Seth Soiglin and myself. We're gonna have time to work on your team charter activity, and then we're gonna share what's next and close us out. And I'm going to hand the floor back over to our wonderful holder of space for today, Miss Chandra Green. You'll be hearing from her a lot in this program. And so make sure you listen up because she has wonderful, wonderful, awesome things to say. So Chandra, you got it. Thank you so much. And you're on mute.
I got you. Thank you so much, Courtney.
Chandra.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here. I just want to welcome everyone into this space. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Resilient Leaders Initiative, right? This is cohort 2. You guys are the second class. Last year was wonderful. I am so happy to be a part of it. I was a passenger, an observer, I'll say, last year, wrote on what was going on. It was so powerful for me that I wanted to come back and really actually be a part of it. So it's my pleasure to be here. I am your holder of space, your MC, your cheerleader, and I just want to say again, welcome, welcome, welcome. So what we're going to do is I'm going to introduce the ROI staff. Rural Opportunity Institute. Of course, they developed this program. They're facilitating this wonderful thing in the community. And I just want to elevate them and introduce you to those who will be participating today. So first we have Courtney Richardson, who you've already met. She's the Strategic Initiative Program Manager, and she's managing this particular program. And then we have co-founder Seth Soiglin, who is here with us to give us lots of information and guidance. And I'm gonna let them both tell you a little bit more about themselves.
Good afternoon, everyone. Wow. I hope everyone is well. Can't wait to engage with you in the space. Please feel free to reach out to me at any point in the program if you need any support, guidance, or just anything you need to help you be successful in this program. And I'll hand it over to Seth to share a little bit about him and his role for the organization.
Hey everybody, just so excited that you're all here. Really excited for the next 9 months. It's going to be fun. It's going to be positive. It's going to be intense. It'll be a good roller coaster. It was a really neat ride in cohort 1. And so we're just excited to be on this journey with you in cohort 2. I came to Eastern North Carolina as a high school special education teacher, just really fell in love with the area. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to live and work here, and really excited to get to work deeply together in cohort 2. Courtney will be leading the program, and I'll be plugging in to support coaches, and you might see me pop into team meetings or support the teams, but welcome.
Awesome, awesome. So now you know who we are. We want to meet you as well. We have our participants on the call. We have some of our coaches on the call. We want to do some introductions, right? So I want you guys to share your name, your organization, your role, your favorite candy or sweet, and why. And we're going to do this. We want everyone to get a chance to share. So we're going to try to keep it down to 45 seconds. I'm going to start. And once I start and I finish, I'm going to choose someone on the screen. And Seth, if you can take us to the big screen, I will choose someone on the screen. And when you're done, you choose the next person. And that's how we're going to make it roll. So whatever name you see on the screen, whatever face speaks out to you, I want you to choose that next person to go after you have gone. So I'm going to start quickly. My name is Chandra Green. I am a resiliency educator. I also do intensive in-home therapeutic counseling for families referred to me by the courts in Nash County, North Carolina. My favorite candy is Werther's Original Toffees, right? And they're my favorite because, and I'm dating myself, as a child, at church, every Sunday, my grandmother gave all of us kids those candies so we would be quiet during service. So we look forward to getting those candies, and they are still my favorite. And if we can go to the big screen, Seth, I'm going to pick somebody else to go next. I am going to choose Mary Merlin.
Hi, I'm Mary Marlin with Upper Coast Plain Council of Governments, and my favorite candy is anything chewy or gummy. Right now, it's probably High Chew. The grape ones are my favorite. I'll go with Nikki.
Hi, I'm Nikki Mears with Wilson County DSS. I'm the Child Welfare Program Manager. My favorite candy, it's really hard because I like all chocolate, but I'm going to go with Reese Cups, specifically Reese Eggs, because somehow they taste better than the rest. But they're my favorite. And I will call on Anna Grace Sneed.
Hi, I'm Anna Grace Sneed. I work here at Upper Coastal Plain Council of Governments Area Agency on Aging. I work in the Family Caregiver Program. I think my favorite candy would have to be Kit Kat, probably just because my grandma used to give them to me all the time, so that's probably why it's my favorite. I will pick Ashley.
Hey, I'm Ashley Glover. I'm the Family Caregiver Resource Specialist with Upper Coastal Plain Council of Governments. Right now it's kind of varies. I am pregnant, so right now Sour Patch Kids is my favorite, but I mean it could change. So, and I will choose Nicole.
All right, hey everyone, my name is Nicole Atkinson. I'm Adult Services Supervisor at Wilson County Department of Social Services. My favorite candy would have to be M&M's, peanuts, gotta have the peanuts on the inside. Just a favorite childhood thing. My grandma, hey, grandmas are hot today because I've heard that almost 3 or 4 times. But seriously, every month at the beginning of the month, we would go to town, go for our grocery shopping. She let me pick out my favorite, and it was always M&M's with peanuts. Okay, I will pass it over. Let's say Jamila.
Sorry about that. Good morning, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. I'm Jamila Bowden. I am from Chicago and currently there. I'm a trauma specialist. I'm a former veteran teacher, elementary school teacher, and but I've taught at all levels, and currently a mental health counselor, and doing some consulting regarding trauma. So my favorite candies I can no longer eat because out of the blue I became allergic to milk as an older adult. So that was quite a bummer. But my favorite is one that I don't think is even in production anymore. It used to be the Nestle white chocolate bar with it had, I think, almonds in it, almond bits, and they've morphed it into something slightly different now. But that one and Twix, I could eat those every day. So unfortunately, both of those are off my list now. But thankfully, because caramel anything is also my favorite, I have found a coconut milk caramel that if I wanted to, I could just eat it out of the jar like that, like it is. So anyway, that's me. I am going to pass it on to Melinda Smith.
Hi, I am Melinda Smith. I am with Wilson County Department of Social Services as a foster care and adoption social worker. I feel as if you had not asked what my favorite candy is, I would be able to tell you, but right now all I'm coming up with is ice cream. I think also just periodically crave ice cream. I don't know what my favorite flavor is, but I'm back onto the Ben and Jerry's brand. I will go with Melissa McCoy. I really like your glasses, by the way.
Thank you. I just had to throw those on. The glare was getting my eyes are getting old on me. Hello, everybody. My name is Melissa McCoy. I'm a change management consultant. I'm based here in Cincinnati. And my work is primarily focused on working with community partnerships, schools, nonprofits around the country, just helping them use data in real time to get better at what they do and figure out what is working. So I look forward to getting to know all of you through that. Jamila, I was feeling your pain so closely because my favorite candy used to be Airheads, Sour Patch Kids, all of those kind of like kiddie chewy sour candies, but ever since I got COVID a year ago, it all tastes like repulsive. Like I can't. But caramels are my savior also. So I'm gonna go with a sea salt caramel for my favorite candy. Sorry, I had a thing pop up. I will tap Jaime. If you're ready.
Hello, and you said my name right. Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm Jaime Mendoza. So let's see. The job that I just resigned from, I was the vice president of member care for a mental health tech startup company where we provide mental health coaching through text message to Black and Brown youth ages 13 to 25. Previous to that, I was in education for 15 years as a psychiatric social worker and as a school administrator. And let's see, I am calling from Miami, Florida. Just moved here about a year ago. Previously, I was in New York, and I'm from Los Angeles originally. My favorite candy has to be a whatchamacallit. There's not too many. You can't find them everywhere, but I think it's the malt or whatever those little things are. Because I also like malt balls. I think that's the consistent thing there. And if you go to ice cream, I don't know if you guys remember Rite Aid, or they have I forget what it's called, but it has chocolate malted crunch. Yeah, and super excited to be here. Thank you, guys. My apologies. I'm supposed to pick somebody. Why don't we go with D. Sykes?
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Desmond Sykes. I'm an instructor here at Edgecombe Community College in Tarboro, North Carolina. My favorite candy is just something I just picked back up about a week ago. Snickers used to be too sweet, so I stopped eating Snickers for a while. But then somebody gifted me with the Snickers almond, and I love almonds. So now I've got addicted to Snickers almond. They're not as sweet, definitely not as sweet as the original and some of the other ones with peanut butter and all the other stuff. So Snickers almonds are my favorite right now. So I'm going to pass this on to Dr. LaShonda Washington.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. I am LaShonda Washington, the Director of College and Career Readiness at Edgecombe Community College. My favorite candy is peppermint bark. I'm going to call on Varnell.
Thank you. Good morning. Well, afternoon now, wherever. My name is Varnell Cannon. I'm an instructor at Edgecombe Community College in Tarboro, North Carolina. And I was listening to all the favorite candies, which seems to be all mine too. But I would say I love turtles. The turtles with the chocolate, the caramel, the pecan. That's to die for. But you know, when I want to be a little on the fancy side, I do the cowtails. So that's it. And I will call on Jerry Hopper.
Good afternoon. I'm Jerry Harper. I teach for Edgecombe Community College at an off-site on a part-time basis, and I manage public housing in Rocky Mount, North Carolina area, full-time. Backstory, I was literally a kid in a candy store growing up because my uncle, my mother's brother, owned a neighborhood pop shop, and he took me when I was in the 5th grade, and that's where I received my training as to how to run a business, so forth and so on. So I remember the days when I would eat 3 and 4 candy bars. I mean, when candy bars were really candy bars. And so when I start to approach my adult years, I knew that if I didn't, because by that time I had literally become addicted to sugar. And so I knew that if I didn't pour myself into restraint, I would have some health problems. So I don't do candy like that anymore. But during that time, my favorite was and I don't think they're being made anymore. They may be butternuts. Does anybody know of the butternut candy bar? Very good candy bar. It pains me to think of them, and now that because I can't eat them now. So, but if you run across a butternut, grab it. Thank you. And Miss Washington, Dr. Washington, that was peppermint stick. That's so not fun. Oh, I need to pass this on to whomever will speak up and hasn't been called. I'm not sure who that would be. What about Philip W?
Greetings. My name is Philip Willoughby. I am representing Eastern Star Missionary Baptist Church Youth and Young Adult Committee here in Tarboro, North Carolina. And my favorite candy would be probably the Sour Patch Kids, maybe because the sweet and sour combo I like. And I'm going to pass it to Calvin Smith. How you went?
I'm Kelvin Smith. I work for Edgecombe as an instructor. And I'm diabetic, but my favorite candy that I shouldn't eat that I eat is chocolate. So anything chocolate, I eat it when I shouldn't be eating it. And I don't see who to pass it to.
How about Candace Roundtree?
Thank you. Good afternoon. It sounds like a dream come true to be a kid raised in a candy shop. So whoever shared that, like what? Like candy is one of my favorites. I will say I jumped right to candy. I work for Wilson County Department of Social Services. I am a grants and community engagement manager. So I get to do a lot of really fun things across lots of different program areas. My favorite candy right now is jelly beans, specifically Jelly Belly jelly beans. Don't step with any of the like licorice flavored or anything like that. So I'm going to call on my colleague Daphne.
Okay. All I can think about is lots of candy and chocolate now. I kind of have two. So I'm Daphne Santaful, and I am a in-home services social worker here in Wilson County. And my favorite candy bar is a Fifth Avenue. And my favorite candy, so to speak, are really Godiva chocolate truffles. And chocolate truffles are my all-time favorite because they're so versatile. You can have a different center with every truffle you ever have. And I have always said that at my funeral, please don't bring me flowers, bring truffles for everybody to share. So now you guys know, okay? But then candy bar, it would be a Fifth Avenue bar, simply because of the crunchy peanut butter and a little bit of chocolate. Let's see. Erin, did you go? Okay, Erin Daly.
So I'm Erin. I'm also an in-home worker with Wilson County. And my favorite candy right now is probably Mike and Ike Sours for no particular reason other than I had them the other day and that's what's in my head. Let's see. Marcus, have you gone?
I haven't, thank you. Hey everybody, my name is Marcus Willoughby. I'm representing Eastern Star Missionary Baptist Church Youth Young Adult Committee. My favorite candy as of lately has been Skittles. I don't know why I've been on a Skittle kick, preferably the purple pack. I'm embarrassed to say how much I've been eating lately, but yeah, that's my favorite candy. Has Tara Harrington went.
I haven't. Thanks, Marcus. I'm Tara. I'm calling in from the Sicangu Lakota lands on the Rosewood Reservation in South Dakota. I am an education consultant and excited to join. And I don't know what it says about me, but I keep flip-flopping everything that y'all have said. I'm like, I think that might be my favorite. So I'm gonna say hot tamales because when I was pregnant, Ashley, hot tamales were my go-to. And I had them by my bedside table. And I will pass it. Summer, have you gone? If not, I'll pass it over to you.
I'm Summer. I am a 9th grade math teacher at Southwest Edgecombe in Pine Tops. And I love things that are sweet so much. So it's really hard to pick, but what I'm craving right now is like chocolate covered nuts, like almonds and dark chocolate or something. Just one of my favorite things, but I love a lot of different candies. I'll go ahead and pass to Victor.
Hello, my name is Victor Udoiwa. I am a service designer, currently working for NASA. I'm based in DC. And I don't eat a lot of candy, but I think when I have, I've really enjoyed, I don't know the name of it, but it's a ginger candy. And it's so strong, this candy, that I can't tell if I'm eating candy or getting a sinus treatment. It's just it's really good. So that's the one I would say. Anna Grace.
Party Land, but
You said you went already?
yes.
Yes,
Okay,
and is there
sorry.
anybody who hasn't gone? I don't think Seth, you told us about your favorite candy yet?
Yeah, for sure, Reese's. Really sweet. Growing up on my birthday, my mom found this like antique tin that was Reese's. And so I looked forward to my birthday because she would fill it up with all sorts of different kinds of Reese's. Just love peanut butter and chocolate.
Love that. And we haven't heard from Chuck.
Yeah, I can. You're all making me hungry. Going last, you hear them all. I'm Chuck Price. I'm a coach this year with cohort 2. I was a coach in cohort 1 as well. Just currently, I have my own business. It's Blue Collar Consulting, and we help organizations and leaders go through the trauma-informed process and create environments, organizational cultures of thriving, not surviving type environments. And so all of my experience prior to going into the consulting world was in the county health and human services world. And I'm from Wisconsin. I usually beam in from central Wisconsin. I've been a county director of health and human services for probably the last 14 years of my career with the counties, overseeing especially child welfare transformation and things along those lines. But this week I'm beaming in from the Valley of the Sun. I'm in Arizona this week. And so I don't know if I'm going to go back to Wisconsin. It was snowing when I left, so maybe I'll just stay here. And favorite candy, anytime you can mix peanut butter and chocolate together, I'm right there. And one of the ones that's become one of my recent favorites is Take 5. It's like peanut butter, pretzels, and chocolate. My gosh. So that's where I'm at. Was I last?
I don't think so. What about Melinda? Have we heard from you, Melinda?
I sure did, but I can go again if you want me to.
What about
I haven't gone.
Evan? Oh, Courtney. Well, okay,
But
Evan.
let
and then
Evan
Courtney.
go. Yeah.
Yes, Evan and then Courtney, and I think that rounds us out.
I'm Evan Parrish. Work at Rocky Mount High School with MTSS, in other words, instructional coach, as well as I work at Edgecombe Community College as a math instructor. My favorite candy, any type of anything with dark chocolate in there. So as a youth, I probably wouldn't have loved it as much as I do right about now, but it's amazing. It's subtle, but also necessary at times. So that's about it. And of course, Courtney, I guess, is next.
Thanks, Evan. Hey, I want to share a little bit about me too, Jerry, and make a connection. My father owned a shop too growing up, so I too share your sweet tooth throughout our adolescence. So thought that was really cool that we could have a connection there. Again, Courtney Richardson, Strategic Initiatives Manager with ROI, worked in education and city government and healthcare, done a lot of different things, been very fortunate in my career. Worked for Teach for America, the community college system with Vance Granville Community College. And I think my favorite candy as of late, I think I'm kind of feeling what, I forget your name, what you said about sweet and sour. I'm really on these Airheads that are actually like sour candies. They come in a long pack and they're rainbow colored. And so me and my daughter sit on the couch and just go to town on those. And then we're both looking at each other at the end like, where's more? So those are really a staple in our house right now. And I'll kick it back over to you, Chandra. Thank you.
No, thank all of you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love that connection exercise. I guess we all are craving sweets. I know I have that feeling in my jaws, like I want something sweet. So now that we're all there, we'll keep going with the introductions. These are our coaches. You've met them. You know what their favorite candies are, and we'll hear more about them later. But these are our coaches for this cohort of the Resilient Leaders Initiative. And these are some of our facilitators. And it's no coincidence that Chuck and I are there next to each other. He's not my favorite just because we're both from Wisconsin. That has nothing to do with it. We didn't know each other before we came here, but go Packers. But these are the facilitators for this cohort of the Resilient Leaders Initiative. Then we have the ROI staff, the internal staff, you know, Courtney and Victor. Naomi is on the call listening, just checking up on us. And Beachy is also the other co-founder. So they are ROI, sorry. And then this is the support team that they have in place to help us get through this initiative. So up next, Courtney is going to talk to us about the program review, what the expectations are, just really kick off what this initiative is going to look like. So I send it over to you, Courtney.
Thank you so much, Chandra. And thank you for such a joyful connection activity to open us up and get us primed and ready for our time together. I'm gonna go over a few objectives that we want to achieve in our time today. By the end of today, we will build connection amongst our cohort members, our coaches, and our facilitation team. I think we're off to a great start with that. We want to make sure that you guys understand expectations and timeline for the program. We also want to begin to create norms and operating procedure for a safe and productive team and cohort working environment. Reflect on goals as well as hopes for this program. We'll round us out with our objectives for today. A little bit about Rural Opportunity Institute, our why. We know that people are not to blame for their trauma and the stress that impacts them. And that trauma is caused by unjust systems. And we'll dig more into that throughout our program. And we also know resilience is an inner strength in all humans, regardless of their background. And we as a people are wired for connection and healing. And so as we're thinking about this and how we want to engage with the program, think about how we might create systems and institutions in rural communities that support people's healing from adversity and by understanding history, reshaping practices, and fostering deep-rooted connections. So sit with that throughout the program as you consider how to engage. And this is a quick graphic of organizations similar to ROI across the nation. However, ROI is the only organization of its kind that focuses on trauma-informed learning practices through a rural lens. And so we work to shift the narrative of the urban and rural divide, especially in technology and education. And sometimes this process leaves out the rural community, so that's why we're here. We're the only program nationally to address, to address historical trauma and focus on public institutions. And again, we're rooted in rural communities like yours. The goals of the Resilient Leader Initiative, ROI will work with organizations and agencies to take the best trauma-informed practices that have worked in other communities for an organization and program like our own and implement these best practices and policies. ROI will also support organizations like yours and agencies to design new practices, new best practices for any challenges that organizations might face. and we work together with organizations to build solutions. And so feel free, Seth, to jump in here if you have anything you want to add.
Yeah, no, just big ideas like the work you've all engaged in, the Reconnect for Resilience trainings, the common language around understanding stress and trauma. It's a really good first like beginning step. And this program is really designed to say, like, now what? Like, what do we do with that information? How can we better understand ourselves? How can we better understand the people we serve? And then how can we test a ton of different possible solutions to be more trauma informed? So there'll be times where it might seem a little confusing and a little messy, and that's good. That's okay. That's like means you're in the right place. And we promise by the end of it, you're going to get to a really, really productive place.
All right, thanks, Seth, for that. I'm going to generate our program timeline with you. This is an important piece of, how you engage, just so you can see, the different phases of the program and some of our whole group convenings that are coming up. Our program is broken out into 3 phases. Phase 1 is from March to May. Phase 2, is May to September. And phase 3 is September to November. And throughout the duration of the program, we'll have convenings. Today, we're at, all the way to the left, we're at Kickoff. And moving forward, we'll have more convenings. The first one being Trauma and Resilience coming up on March 30th. We'll have Convening 2, Empathy Building on the 13th of April. We'll have Convening 3, Brainstorming and Small Bets on May 11th. We'll have Convening 4, Reflecting on Small Bets on June 8th. Convening 5 and 6 will be around reflection and improvement. Convening 7, we'll see what's working. And Convening 8 will be Sustainability on October 5th. And finally, hooray, big celebration on November 16th, where we'll kind of share and just reflect on everything that happened and celebrate, whatever you guys end results are at the program, end of the program. Wanted to elevate really quickly that you won't see on that program timeline, the meetings that you'll schedule with your coaches outside of these spaces, and you'll have time and space to do that today with us when we have breakouts a little bit later. Want to dig into all our participant deliverables now. We're expecting attendance at least a minimum of 3 dedicated team members on your team at every convening. So make sure you want to have that discussion with your teammates as you continue to move forward in the program. We want you guys to meet all deadlines and any tasks that you're assigned, and really engage and dig into the pre-work, because it's only going to enhance the results at the end that you guys come up with. In between monthly mandatory convenings, you'll be required to complete your own work and make progress on individual goals. You'll also meet with your team 1 to 2 hours a week, like I mentioned before, at a cadence that works best for you. And again, you can decide this information with your team as a group and your coach together. You're going to submit written updates on the progress of your identified goals with your coach, and then you're going to let us know any support we can offer through that. And that'll be in the form of a Google form update that you'll work on with your coach. You're going to spend about 5 to 15 hours a month on work tasks. And this does not include any time that you spend directly with your coach one-on-one if you want to have one-off meetings with them to go over things. We're also going to have an evaluation portion of our program, and there'll be 3 surveys, which we'll get into a little bit more later. But you will be asked to complete evaluation surveys as well as other surveys throughout the program. And up next, I'm going to take over some sharing controls here, because we have a Google folder already set up for all teams to drop their completed documents in once they're finished. So I'm going to share my screen to show you how to access that folder. Yesterday, I sent all of you an email to give you access to that folder. If you don't have it, please email me after the convening today, our kickoff, and let me know if you need access to that folder. So give me one moment here as I share. Suspenseful music.
No, actually, I want to share something while Courtney's bringing that up. Like Seth said, this is going to be intense. Like Courtney said, there's going to be work to be done, but we also want this to be fun and exciting too. So I want you guys to really engage and know we're going to have prizes and gifts throughout as well. We'll have wonderful connection activities, but we want you to remind you to also have fun while you're in this initiative.
Yes, thank you so much, Chandra. Good elevation point there. So can everybody see my screen? If someone will come off mute and let me know if they're able to see everything.
Looks great.
Perfect. Thanks, Seth. All right, so this is the folder that you guys will be submitting your documents to. And as you can see here, you have all the folders under this document built out in phases. So you can see phase 1 here for RLI, phase 2, and phase 3. And below that, you'll see team deliverables, and it says submit here. This is where you're gonna submit any documents that you want us to see as a part of your tasks, right? And at the bottom here, you'll have a program timeline visual, just in case you wanna revisit any convening dates that you need to know about. So really quickly, I'm gonna show you what is in Team Deliverables folder, which is the folder you'll most probably be in throughout the program. And so as you can see in this folder, we have you guys breaking out by team in phase 1, right? And so anything Eastern Star would like to submit, any deliverables that your team has to submit, you'll submit them here in this folder. And same as goes for Southwest, Edgecombe Community College, Upper Coastal Plain, and Wilson DSS. Below, you have other documents here. We'll have your team charter document, which you'll access later in our time together in breakouts. So that information is there. If you click into one of your team documents, team folders, you can see that this folder is empty because we haven't gotten to that place yet, right? But once you do and you have things ready to submit to us, you'll submit them here in this folder. All right. I'm gonna click really quickly into the phase 1 folder just so you can see what's there. And you have Kickoff, Convening 1, 2, and 3, and so on and so forth. Those folders will be coming very soon. So just wanted to show you what that folder specifically looked like as well. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing. I'm gonna let Seth start sharing over again. Again, suspenseful music. Okay, and now we're gonna have a quick pause for knowledge check, right? And so I want you to think about all the information that we shared so far, right? Especially around deliverables, because that's gonna be really key as we continue to do our work together. So I want all participants to think about one deliverable that you all are responsible for. So just take a moment, think about what I've elevated here, what I've discussed with you, and what you know you'll be on the hook for. So just take a moment, think.
I love this. Courtney, do you want me to monitor the chat?
Yes. So now drop those deliverables in the chat quickly as possible, quickly. First 3 people that drop those in will definitely want a prize from us. We like prizes at ROI. And what we have, Chandra, you got anybody going for it?
Oh, yes, we do. They're going so fast now that I got to go back to find the first. So give me 1 second. I think the first was
coming, y'all. Yeah.
Oh, there we are. First was Dr. Mendoza attending our weekly meetings as a team. And then we have Ashley Glover, 5 to 15 hours a month for team member to do work and meeting weekly from Marcus Wallaby, I want to say.
Willoughby, I believe.
Willoughby, right. And then Victor rounds it out with evaluation surveys.
All right. Woo! Hooray!
Awesome. I think I recognize a few of those names as coaches, which is a cheat. But I know we get some participants in there as well.
We'll let them slide this time, right, Chandra?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you guys for dropping those in the chat. And if you have any questions about those deliverables, the program goals, or anything ROI related, feel free to reach out to me afterwards, or feel free to engage in those conversations with your coaches if you want, or and Seth as well is available, as well as Chandra. So just let us know how we can support.
Love that. Thank you so much, Courtney. And now we're going to have Seth up, and he's going to continue to talk about the program overview and the expectations.
So just a quick overview of what you can expect from your coach. Your coaches are there to support, to provide cheerleading, to help with project management. They're going to help around just rigor of the program, like helping. I mean, they're really just meant to be a support and a source of accountability. You'll do weekly meetings with them that you'll plan at a time that works best for your team. And the program, the overview of the program really is this idea of we're going to use a process called human-centered design, which just means we're going to take time to get to know the people we serve. So the people, your clients, the people you work with every day, your staff. The first part of the program will be building empathy and understanding how is stress and trauma showing up, and then really getting to some insights and framing up some challenges. And then the program will really shift to doing what we call small bets or little bets, where you will test ideas in small ways that all fit under this North Star of being trauma informed and building resilience and responding to the stress that our clients and staff are facing. So your coaches are just, you're going to get really close with them through the course of the program. And they're really your first line of support. And then, like Courtney said, there's many other layers of support beyond them. The teams that you saw introduced today, just huge shout out to Edgecombe Community College, their career readiness team. Big shout out to Eastern Star and their youth and young adult ministry. Big shout out to the Upper Coastal Plains Council of Government and their Council of Aging. Really excited about Southwest High School and really excited about Wilson DSS. And you can just see the diversity of the sectors and how you all represent different parts of our community. So we're excited for you to do the work in the program, to build relationships with each other. And then one of the goals is that the work you do can actually be a proof point or elevated for other agencies like your own in rural Eastern North Carolina or beyond. So I'll just share a quick example of how this worked for one of the teams in last year's cohort. So in cohort 1, we had the Alternative Learning School in Edgecombe, the Edgecombe County Courthouse, Word Tabernacles Church, their Reach Center and their Impact Academy preschool, and then Spate Middle School. And so they went through the process you're going to go through. It's been refined, it's been updated, so you're getting an even better experience. And just wanted to share one example from Hope. So when you're trying to imagine what could this look like, just want to give you one concrete example. So the Hope Alternative School, it's where kids go when they get kicked out or suspended from their home-based school. And they did the first part of the program, interviewing students, interviewing parents, interviewing staff, and mental health needs were a really big challenge that came up. And so they actually tested a lot of different ideas. They tested employment opportunities for their high school students. They connected with local businesses. They tested doing meditation and mindfulness during the school day. And their third little bet was around this mental health contractor role. And so we helped them actually redesign their intake process because parents had a lot of stigma and barriers around their students getting mental health supports. And so redesigned it to just speak really clearly about how the Hope program is focused on identifying a student needs and then helping them build skills. So kind of getting rid of that scary language of FERPA and Medicaid and all the terminology that comes with it. And as a result, no parent has, 100% of parents have consented and asked for their students who qualified to receive mental health support. And so then we worked with Hope to build a process where they would hire a licensed clinical social worker. And then on the back end, they're actually billing the state. So they're billing Medicaid. So it's at no cost to the school district. And we can for sure share that. And then all this has kind of led to now Hope is being looked at as kind of the model for the entire state of how can a school get more mental health support into the building. Now, your solution does not need to be this specific in this exact way. Like the solutions are going to come from the knowledge that exists within your users and within your organization. So the solutions are going to be very diverse. So it's less about you're trying to replicate something like what Hope did, and it's more that you're going to follow this process with your coaches and in this program to build empathy, to get insights, and then test a bunch of different ideas. And it'll be emergent. We don't know as we sit here in March what it's going to look like in November, but we do know the supports and the tools and the resources that can be provided to help along this journey. So just wanted to lift that up as one example of what came out of last cohort. And we're so excited for you all to dig in as a team and with your coach, and can't wait to see what comes out of cohort 2. And the last piece is just a core value at ROI is that members of our community should be making decisions about resources in our community. And so this program there's funding that is available to every team to implement and test and pilot their ideas. But instead of those decisions living with Chandra or Courtney or myself, there's a group of about 5 community members who serve as the Resilient Leaders Community Accountability Board. And when you get to the part of the program where you would like funding and resources, you're going to share your ideas with them, and they'll give you the thumbs up and disperse the funds, or they'll say, hey, can you clarify a couple things? It's not a thumbs up, thumbs down because you're already in the program, but they're going to oversee those resources. And that's just from a core value of community-based decision-making. But don't worry about that too much. We'll give you a lot more info and specifics when it gets to that part in the program. And I'm going to throw it back over to Courtney to share our final information about evaluation before we do our teamwork.
Thanks, Seth. I appreciate it. You can go to the next slide for me. We'll dig in here about the evaluation. So like I mentioned earlier, we'll have 3 evaluations that we'll ask participants to complete throughout, sprinkled throughout the duration of the program. We'll have a baseline survey actually that's coming up. And we use this information to evaluate data from all our participants. We have an independent evaluator that we work in to help us devise our surveys. And like I said, there will be 3 administered throughout the week. And we want you to share open and honestly. This is not, a tool of, using this, against anyone. This is just really us taking what you guys share with us about the program and making our program better so that we can capture any information that is important and adjust the program throughout the duration if need be. The baseline survey completion for our first one will be up this Friday, March 18th by end of day. You'll get an email with this survey link after kickoff. So you have today, tomorrow, and Friday to complete it. If you run into any challenges or have any questions about this survey, please reach out to us and let us know what your needs are if you have any questions or anything like that. All righty, so now we're up to our activity around our charter work time. I think this will be a really fun example of how we can work together and what you can expect as a preview as you work with your coaches and groups throughout the rest of the program. And so in a minute here, Seth is going to break us out into rooms, and we're going to do a few things together in group. First up, I'm going to drop all these instructions, or Seth will actually, in the chat, so you have these as a reference when you break out in your groups. So don't worry about writing them down or remembering them. We got you. Don't even worry about it. So we're going to use this link above to access the team charter document. And coaches can make a copy of this document and they can share it with their team. So if you want to name it, Eastern Star, Team Charter, whatever works for you, that works. And the link is dropped in the chat below. You'll go through each section with your team, either individually sometimes or either as a team. Areas highlighted in yellow are for individuals to complete. Areas highlighted in green are for group discussion and for you to complete together. And once you've done that, you're going to add that document in that team deliverables folder that we just talked about. Again, we'll link all that information below. And your coaches should also have access to those folders as well. And so let us know if you don't have access so we can share that with you at the end. All right, so take a moment, absorb all those instructions. And we'll take a moment of pause. And Seth, you just give us a cue here when you're ready. And we'll just take a pause of reflection while we get ready to have some time together in groups.
Great, and I just opened up the breakout rooms. So you can choose, there's 5 rooms for each teams, and you can click join with your team, and then your coach will be in there with you. And anyone who would like me to manually put them in, just let me know or put it in the chat.
I don't see Upper Coastal Plain on the breakout room.
Thank you, thank you. Oh, I doubled up. That is my mistake. Thank you, thank you. I accidentally doubled up ECC.
I'm trying to find the breakout rooms and I do not see them.
Me either.
No worries. I think it's giving me a 30-second clock. So because I messed them up, we're gonna have to wait 30 seconds and then I can get them fixed.
Okay.
I'll wait.
Okay. I reopen them and then I can move anyone. Marcus, I'll put you in the Eastern Star.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yep.
You can put Barnell at Edgecombe Community College, please.
Got you.
Thank you.
And if some of you were brought back to the main room, if you hover over breakouts and click it, you'll be able to add yourself back to the breakout. And if you can't, just come off mute and we can add you, no problem. It's a party in the main room. It's all good.
Welcome back as everybody comes into the room. I see everybody popping in. Welcome back, everyone. I hope that was productive and got your juices flowing. We didn't expect and we knew that you wouldn't complete that entire assignment or activity. We didn't expect you to do that, but we wanted to give you an opportunity to get with your teams and start the process. And then your first meeting with your coach, you'll finish up on that work. So no pressure that it needed to be done. We just wanted to give you the opportunity to start the work with your teams. Any questions or comments before we go to Courtney Richardson to close us out? Okay, Courtney, I send it over to you to close us out.
Thank you so much, Chandra. And thank you so much for framing our day today and just being the thread that is weaving us all together. Appreciate you. Appreciate all of you for just joining the call and engaging. So what's next? So coming up, we have a couple of things. We want you to make sure that you have access to that Google folder for your team. Again, I shared that ahead of our time today, so you should have access to that. If you don't, please let me know and we can make sure that you have that, okay? Convening number 1 is coming up soon on trauma and resilience. Is going to be a riveting time together. Chandra will be facilitating that alongside Chuck Price. And so we can't wait to hear more about what they're going to offer during that time. And that time will be scheduled on Wednesday, March 30th from 1 to 3 Eastern time. Okay. So that has already been shared with you guys via Google Calendar. If you don't have that invitation and meeting information, again, get with me. Happy to share that again with you. We want to make sure that you guys connect with your team to schedule a weekly meeting, and make sure you add me to the invite through Google. So I can pop into those occasionally and check you guys out, see what you're up to. I want to engage as much as possible. I want to get to know you, throughout the duration of the program and offer any support. And lastly, make sure you get that mind and your body ready to work. We want to make sure your headspace is fully clear and that you have the space to really engage in the way that you'd like. So make sure that you're preparing yourself mentally and physically for our next call, whatever that means for you. Actions items related to how we'll close out our time today. So I will also send these and generate these via email after our time today. So you can look out for that. And you don't necessarily have to take notes here unless you just want to. we invite you to do whatever feels natural for you. We're going to complete our baseline evaluation, and we'd like that into us by March 18th, end of the day. We'll send an email after our time at kickoff to share that information with you in survey form. We want to make sure that you meet up with your coach and complete your team charter before our next convening. And again, we want you guys to complete your letter of commitments via DocuSign by end of day Friday, March 25th. This is very important. And so if you don't have this information, again, please reach out to me. And lastly, we want to make sure you guys complete your individual intake form as soon as possible. That intake form is going to have important information like your address, your communication preferences, things you like to eat, all the fun things that we need to engage with you again throughout the program, because we'll be sending you guys gifts and all types of fun stuff throughout the program to motivate you to be, show up as your best selves and bring you joy. So yeah, really quickly, we have one more thing that we want to say before we convene today. Let us know how we're doing. If you want to just take a moment and screenshot this QR code here, and we'll also be dropping the link in the chat for you to follow. This is a 5-minute, really quick survey that we have at the end of every convening. We'll ask you what you thought about how we spent our time, any feedback you want to offer. And so it's very short again. And so if you want to engage in this, we invite all of you to, coaches included, facilitators included, as well as participants, to go ahead and take a few minutes to complete this survey after our space. So go ahead and take a moment to get your cameras out if you choose to engage with the QR code, or if you want to choose to copy the link in your browser before we leave. All right, if you have that, we'll go to that next slide at the end. And we're going to hold some optional breakout space for your scheduling time right now. We are at 2:28 right now, so we have about 2 minutes before our end time actually was scheduled for 2:30. But we did want to offer you guys the chance to reconvene with your groups really quickly to make sure that you have that calendar really airtight and that you land on dates for that. And so in this time, if you so choose, you can get with your team again, work to make that schedule, and then make sure that you share that information with your coaches so your coaches can then share that with us. Okay. So again, this time is optional. If you would like to leave this space feeling, filled up with information and directives and deliverables and all the things we've shared, feel free to do that. If you would like to take advantage of this breakout time, Seth has so graciously worked really hard on these breakout rooms and opened them back up for us. So feel free to select your identified breakout rooms and let me know if you have any questions.
I have a question.
Yeah, go for it, Victor. Thank you.
Have we received the email addresses of the team members? I know the person who submitted the form, but I don't know if we received it for everyone else.
Yeah, so there was an email that I think Seth teed up for you guys, introducing your team members to each other via email, so they would be there. And also in the team charter, there was space for people to complete their email information. I think there's a space for people to put their names or their contact information. So, but as it stands, we haven't shared that specifically directly with you, but we can for sure. And there is a contact list we have available if that would be helpful to share.
Yeah, because we didn't get to that part in the form, and I think the email only had the lead for my email anyway.
Gotcha.
But I can check again. Yeah. Okay.
Yep, and we can share that contact list with all coaches if that works. And if we think it would be helpful to share with participants too, we can determine that. But we can certainly share that information with coaches.
Okay. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Victor, for that. Appreciate that. Want to close that gap to make sure we stay in communication. Thank you. All right, so feel free to leave our space today, or if you want to engage in those breakouts, we'll hang back for a bit. And if any questions come up in the meantime, feel free to generate those with us. And again, thank you so much.
Bye, everybody. It's going to be a fun 9 months.
See you next time.
Woo! That was a rush.